Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Believe, better known as KevBiyi, man. And if you yourself are interested in creating your own podcast, let me show you how to do it, man. Let me give you some great advice. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. I only need two things real quick. Listen in close. Number one, it's free. That should say it all right there. But if that's not enough, number two, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That means you can start making money from day one on your podcast and start putting that money to good use. So, let me give you the information. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM to get started today. And I want to hear your podcast. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. Now I'm your host, KevBiyi, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been tuning into these episodes. And I pray, and my prayer is that everyone has been getting some type of inspiration, motivation, or even some tips and tricks of the trade that they can use in their everyday journey or lives into entrepreneurship, professionalism, or just downright living. Now, if you want some more from our guests on the show, we're eventually going to be partnering with them and bringing you some special discounted items later on. So if you love these guests and love the things that they have to offer and you would love to support and build the community, all you need to do is text BIY to 31996. That's BIY to 31996, and let's grow this community together. Peace. Welcome to the Believe in Yourself podcast on Your Vibe Radio. I thank everybody for tuning in. Welcome to the Believe in Yourself podcast on Your Vibe Radio. We are streaming live from yourviberadio.com. And if you would like to subscribe, you just use our email. Email us at yviberadio@gmail.com. And for anybody who wants to call in today's show, you can call us at 305-454-1531. That's 305-454-1531. Now, we're streaming live on yourviberadio.com. So when you go to the website, if you would like to watch the live stream and see what's going on in the studio, you just click on the media tab and you'll see where it pulls up live streaming. You just click there and it'll take you to where you could watch the live stream live. Our show schedule is as follows. Every Sunday, we have the cultural gospel from 7 a.m. to 12 noon. We have DJ Lobi from 12 noon to 3 p.m. and smooth jazz from 3 p.m. until. That's every Sunday. And on Mondays, we have My Rap Book Podcast, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesdays, we have DJ Mac 10, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Each and every Wednesday, we're right here with your boy, Mr. Believe, KevBiyi, on the Believe in Yourself podcast, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Thursdays, we have DJ Glimbo taking us down memory lane from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. On Saturdays, DJ Glimbo is back with the Cook-Up Show from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with reggae from 1 p.m. to 3. You have DJ Adjic from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and DJ Phantom from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Your Vibe Radio is a 24-hour radio station bringing you the best in Caribbean music and good vibes every day, 24 hours a day. Definitely want to tune in to Your Vibe Radio and definitely go and visit our website at yourviberadio.com. You definitely want to go and check out everything that we got going on there. That's yourviberadio.com. Now, for those of you who are our valued listeners, you can join the Believe in Yourself community by just sending a simple text. Just grab your phone right now and dial 31996, and then you're going to send BIY in your message to 31996. What do you get when you send your BIYs to 31996? You become a part of the community. You get to find out about the announcements, everything that we have going on. You get heads up when we have a show coming up, special discounts and offers that we're going to be having. You will be first to know about it and first to find out about it. So you definitely, especially now with this time of the year, Black Friday's coming up. We got some special discount offers coming soon. You definitely want to join the community so that you can partake in these offers. We have an announcement from Unique African Boutique. Unique African Boutique, if you go to shop, uniqueafricanboutique.com, and you use BIY, that's at uniqueafricanboutique.com, you use BIY at checkout, you can get 10% off your entire order. You must have a minimum purchase of $50, and you use BIY at checkout. The entire site, you can get 10% off your order right now if you go to shop uniqueafricanboutique.com. Shop uniqueafricanboutique.com, where they want you to be unique. Today's Golden Nugget, what is brought to us by Titan Protective Services, where they want you to protect what matters most to you. Titan Protective Services is a field service security guard company where they provide security guards and surveillance with security cameras for your home or your property, business, whatever it is that you need protected, because they protect what matters most to you. And the Golden Nugget is, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Now, sometimes, or most times, before you start your business, I hope most people are doing some research, and we're looking up things, and a lot of times we get stuck in that beginning phase of just constantly researching, reading, and trying to perfect everything before we get started or before you start your journey. And I'm just here to tell you, you're never going to have it perfect to where you'll be ready to start. You know, there's always something more that you can learn. There's always something more that you can do. The best thing that you can do for yourself is just to start, because you never know. You might get started after you do all this research and find out that it's something that you really don't want to do. Or you might find out that the market really isn't there for it. But you would have wasted so much time researching and planning and probably buying equipment and buying this and buying that before you ever get started. And it could be a waste of money, time, and effort. So wherever you're at, whatever you got, whatever knowledge you already have acquired about the subject or the topic or the product, start right there, right now where you're at. Figure out a creative marketing tactic. You know, maybe try it out on your friends and family first, whatever it is, and start where you're at. You know, offer discounts, get some type of referral program growing. You know, you go to your friends and family, say, hey, this is not really free. You know, but I'm going to give it to you for free in exchange for a couple of referrals. That could be a tactic right there. Or you go and you give away some products for free if you have something that you want people to come back. Let's say you're a chef and you want to start cooking. You start giving out free samples, small little plates and samples. You take them to different locations. I mean, if you're healthy meals, maybe you go to some gyms and you offer some small little samples of your meals, and you just start where you're at. Whatever idea, whatever it is that you're trying to do, start from where you are. Don't think that you have to have it all figured out, have everything lined up perfectly before you can start. Because along your journey, you're going to learn what little niche you would fit into. You know, wherever you're learning, whatever tactic or product that you're learning it from, whoever you're learning it from, if you're learning about it from YouTube or you're going to school, when you start doing it, what you have to understand is whatever you were taught may be just a generic template or something that works for one person or somebody that if you're watching a guru on YouTube, they're going to tell you their story, how they made it. And of course, they're going to leave little things out of it, you know, so you're going to have to eventually walk the journey yourself, and along the way, figure out what niche would work for you. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing hair and lashes and things like that right now. But I recently just saw someone out in LA where they're doing colored lashes. And my wife showed it to me, and she thought it was funny. And I thought, hey, that's funny, but there's nobody else out there doing colored lashes, at least from what I could see. Maybe that's from her doing lashes. She saw that as an opening and said, you know what, I'm going to step out on a limb and do colored lashes. She had a sample of somebody who took pictures that got it done. So obviously there's a need out there, but she may not have come up with that idea had she not already started doing lashes and then figured that, hey, okay, I'm doing lashes. There's people over here that's competing with me. How can I separate myself now? I don't know if there's many gurus out there talking about it because I haven't seen it. So this could be a niche or something that she creates, maybe not, that could ultimately set her apart. Now, somebody's going to see that and maybe admire the work, maybe not exactly want to get the colored lashes, but they'll still go and get the lashes from her just because what she's doing is different, and it separates her from the crowd. So that's just an example of how when you're doing the work, this is not something that she came up day one out the gate. She's been doing lashes for a few years now because I know the individual, and now she's changed it and added this to her product offering, to say, so to speak. So now she offers the mink, the color, and the other stuff. But the color, I would say, sets her apart because there's nobody else doing that. So she corners that little market. It brings her the attention that she needs. Maybe everybody that comes to her doesn't particularly want colors, but the attention from her doing colored lashes will bring her clients that want regular lashes as well as colored lashes. So it's just about doing it, finding your niche while you're doing it. You're not going to find that niche until you start to actually take action and figure out what you like to do, how you like to work, and what you can contribute. It's always about adding value to the market. And from what I've seen, it looked funny. I'm not going to lie. I'm a guy. Maybe it's for me. But somebody had it done. So there's somebody out there who finds that attractive or they like that style. And that may be the niche that she carves out that takes her to the next level of her business. And that's what it's all about. So wherever you are, whatever knowledge you have, whatever equipment you have, whatever you have to make your product, start there. Be creative. Don't limit yourself and think that, oh man, I don't know if people are going to like this, because let me just tell you something. Everybody's not going to like every idea you come up with. And every idea you come up with isn't for everybody. The minute you try to market to everybody, you're marketing to no one. You need to find a specific audience, market to them. So you need to figure out what that's going to be for you. So starting out is the number one key. It's good to have the knowledge. It's good to have some understanding about the field that you're going into. But ultimately getting started is the number one goal, is the number one thing that you should be focused on. Starting and doing and repeating that action every single day. Putting yourself on a regimen or a routine to where you're attacking and you're taking steps toward preparing and getting yourself ready. So I'm just going to go through that golden nugget, which was brought to us by Titan Protective Services one last time. It says, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So don't get so caught up into having to have the best equipment, the best materials. What you have now is a part of your journey and a part of your story. So if you're not at the best right now, start now. And just know that because you know you have more room to grow, that you are going to grow. That automatically puts you in a win-win situation. Rather than investing a whole bunch of time, a whole bunch of money, not starting, just investing time and money, taking classes, collecting inventory, making sure this is right and that's perfect. Now you've invested so much where it is kind of a win-lose. Where now you're at a situation where if it doesn't work, it could be drastic for you. Whereas if you just start where you are, it still may take a little bit of money. It may not as much as you've invested in waiting and learning, but you invest a little, you test it out, and as you grow and as you go on your journey, you drop that, you pick this up, you figure out this works, that doesn't work for you. It may have worked for the guru you watched on YouTube, but for where you are and for your audience and for your niche, it doesn't work. So you drop that and you pick something else up. So that's all what it's all about. Starting where you're at, using what you have, and doing what you can. That's the formula to believing in yourself right there. Thank you, Titan Protective Services, for bringing us that golden nugget. And make sure you guys check out Titan Protective Services at www.titanproserve.com. I believe they told us they'll be having a discount for those of you looking to install your cameras this holiday season. It's a lot of crazy things going on in the world right now. And just having that peace of mind, knowing that your house is being monitored, helps to ease a lot of that. So visit www.titanproserve.com today. Find out what special offers they have going on. You can also call them at 305-925-0793. TitanProServe.com. Protecting what matters most to you. Now, we got a couple of topics, man, that's going on today. One thing that I really just wanted to touch on, of course, the election. I'm going to touch on that. But before I get into that, man, this was something that just hit me recently. And when I was having a conversation with the individual, it didn't hit me right away. You know, sometimes you have these conversations, and when you're in the moment, it's like you don't think sometimes, how do I word this? You know, sometimes after a conversation is done, you'll go back and reflect upon it and be like, oh, man, I should have or I could have. Thank you for tuning into the Believe in Yourself podcast. I'm your host, KevBiyi, man. And if you guys are enjoying these episodes, definitely go and check us out and follow us on Instagram at BIY Podcast. That's at BIY Podcast. Or you can follow us at Twitter at MEINC11. That's at BIY Podcast and at MeInc11. You can also search for us on Facebook at Believe in Yourself Podcast. Hope to see you guys soon. Happens to me a lot because I'm a very analytical person sometimes, you know, and I always analyze and see ways where I could do better or see where somebody else maybe have made a mistake and see, you know, if I'd have put myself in those shoes and just how I could maneuver. I'm always trying to do better. So I was having a conversation with an individual. I'm not going to say where or what because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I don't know if they want their business out there like that. But we were having a conversation, and we were talking about our kids going to a particular school. So right now, we both know about the school. So his plan was like, you know, he already has a foot in. So what he's going to do is he's going to keep that foot in until his son's in high school, you know, keep his contact. And when his son's in high school, he plans on, you know, working at the school. I don't know if you guys know about some private schools here. They're pretty expensive. Some private schools can get pretty expensive. And what some parents do, they allow some parents to do who may not be able to afford the tuition. They'd allow you to work some hours at the school to work off the tuition. So what his plan was, keep the contact, you know, keep that line of communication or whatever he has with the institution. And eventually, when his son's ready for high school, use that contact to get his foot into the door to get his son in because he loves the education that they have there or the education that they offer. And he worked the hours off. I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. That's not a problem, man. I don't know why people wouldn't work any hours. At the time, that's what I was thinking. But when I left and I thought about it, I was like, but this dude, his son, is about between 5 and 7 years old. So you mean to tell me that for the next 10 to 12 years, your plan is to work at a location to pay for your son's tuition? And that hit me in a certain way when I thought back on it. I was like, but that's 10, 12 years from now when I sat back and I thought about it. Because the reason why it hit me is because I thought like For you to believe that you have to have this contact for the next 10 to 12 years, keep this relationship, so just so that you can have an opportunity to work for your son to go there, it's like, how do you see yourself? What opportunities do you see are possible for you, yourself? Now, in the moment when we're talking, having the conversation, I was like, that's good, because I want my kid to have the best as well. And I was like, yeah, that's dope. I'll do it for my kid, but he's only 5 now, so I ain't too much worried about that. That's why later when I thought about it, I was like, man, his son's not too much older than mine, about the same age. And I know me, the reason why I started a business was because I hated to be on anybody's clock or anybody else's time. If it wasn't my time and I couldn't control, what I could do when I wanted to do it, I didn't really like it. So just to get back to my point, how do you see yourself? What are you seeing yourself? A lot of times we limit where we possibly could go in life just because of the way we view ourselves. It's not because there aren't any opportunities out there for us. It's because we haven't opened up our mind to the possibility of the opportunities that are out there for us. For you to feel as though you have to keep a contact so that you can work to get your son there, for me, I was like, why can't, this is when I'm going back over the conversation, reflecting, why can't I figure out a way to create the income to pay for my son to be able to go to that school? It's a total different mentality, and it's a shift in the way you have to think. When you're used to working or trading time for dollars, it's hard to see where you could create avenues and streams of income. Because you're so used to trading your time for dollars, you can, excuse me, I don't know, I got a little bit of gas today. Please excuse me if I burp on the mic. Please just cover your ears. So if we can only see that you're working for hours, there's only so many hours you can do in a day. There's only so much time. But if you told yourself, hey, I'm not a businessman, or, business is not for me, or maybe you never even thought of starting a business. Maybe your mind never even expounded to that place. Maybe your mind never even expounded to the understanding of how you can make money while you sleep, like i.e. investing in stocks or investing in other businesses and things like that. Maybe that idea never dawned on you, so that you can now see, okay, how can I now create an avenue so that when my son is ready to go to high school, that I'll have the money to pay for it? How can I now put myself in position later to now pay for that, rather than me having to take my physical body, my physical time there? Because time is the most, to me, the most precious thing on earth. It's the one thing that you can never get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. There's no I'm going to make that up. There's no I'm going to get that back. 11/11/2020, there's only one. And every second that ticks is the last second of the day. That second's never coming back. That minute's never coming back. So if the point that I wanted to get out of this story wasn't that it's a bad thing to work the hours for your son. Everybody's situation is different for your child. But I want people to start to think bigger for themselves. Start to understand that you can create something bigger. It goes back to the golden nugget. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. You have to believe that you deserve more than what you're doing now. You have to believe that you have the capacity for more. You have to believe that it's possible for you to make enough money to pay that large tuition and still live good. Those beliefs have to become a part of your daily routine, so that then now when you step outside, you'll be able to see more opportunities. I don't know how else to explain it other than a quote that I've said on this show before. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. What that's basically saying is if in your mind there's no other possibility for you other than physical labor, you won't look for any other possible answers. You'll self-sabotage or sabotage any other things that are outside of what you have placed the belief on yourself to believe. If you believe that you can make money in your sleep, if you believe that it's possible for you to make money and not physically have to do work, if you believe that, you'll start to look for opportunities where that is true and start to validate your beliefs. There's also this saying where people say your perception is your reality. So it goes back to, how do you perceive yourself? If you perceive that all the opportunities are taken, if you perceive that this is your threshold, you can't get a job better than this, there's no opportunities out there for me to make this kind of money, I'm just gonna ride this wave, and that's just what it's gonna be. You yourself are limiting yourself, not the outside world around you, not the person down the street, not the guy who's making all the money and buying all the cars and blowing it up and taking all the money from the economy. There's more than enough money for everyone. The media likes to propagate this scarcity mentality where, it's the last one. This the last of this. There'll never be another this. There'll never be another that. So when we see people who have much, you think like there's only a certain amount out there. So those people who have so much taken from what you possibly could have, when the opposite is true. There's so much abundance out there that everyone can have abundance. And you just have to put your mindset. You don't even physically have to do anything in the beginning. It's just changing the way you see yourself will then change the way you see the world, and then change the opportunities that will come to you. So you change the way you see yourself by seeing that you're greater than wherever you're at. If it's a 9-to-5 job, if it's a salaried position, you need to see that you're greater than that. Doesn't mean that you need to leave that job or that position. It just means you need to see that there's more out there possible for you. You don't have to settle. I got this great job, man. Just last week or the week before, we have an individual that came on the show who has a job, but he knew that he wanted something greater. He knew that he wanted something more. It was my buddy Dave. He has a great job, working 9 to 5. I don't know if that's his hours, but you get what I'm saying. Working 9 to 5. But on the side, he's doing investing in stocks and real estate because he sees that, you know what, I don't want to be working for the rest of my life. So I need to create a stream of income streams of income that replace my now salary. So he, in his mind, began to look for ways to do it. He started out in real estate. That didn't work, but it didn't stop him because he knew in his mind that there was something more out there. Okay, so this didn't work first. Let me try the stock market. That started to work for him. As he started to progress, okay, let me get back into the real estate. Not once did he just say, you know what, I got this great job, getting paid I got great benefits. That's it. I'm going to live off that retirement. I ain't going to do nothing more than that. Nah, that ain't the case. What he did, he believed first, I'm greater than this job, than this position, and I know that here I can create more. Once you have those two things, you're able to get the ball rolling and do exactly what you need to do to get you to where you need to be. But it's not until you believe it, then can you achieve it. I know I sound like I'm preaching, but that's the truth. You have to believe it before you can achieve it. So I just wanted to touch on that and say to everyone out there, believe in yourself is not just for entrepreneurs or people who don't work traditional 9-to-5s and start your own businesses, but it's for people who do work 9-to-5s as well. To understand that the 9-to-5 doesn't have to be all you have. That's not all you need to rely on. Don't get into the trap of the rat race and believing that your only avenue could be a job, or your only way of making money could be working hours, using your body to be on somebody's clock. That's one avenue or one stream of income. You can always create more. It's just about believing it here in your mind to then manifest it in the physical. Once you start to believe it here in your mind, you would then start to see, or different ideas would then become visible to you. What you've overlooked maybe 20 times in a row because you never thought it was possible will now be right in front of your face and say, hey, here's an opportunity. You can do this or that. So just believing in yourself will help you get over that hump. And that takes me to my next point. So during this election, let's talk about these elections, man. So our election results last week I believe it was last week. There were so many people who were anxious about this election, and I just couldn't understand why for the life of me. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter whether or not the president wins or loses, Biden or whoever's in office. Maybe the tax will change a little bit or not, but that's. Hey, it's Mr. Believe, and I want to tell you about Unique African Boutique. It is a beautiful collection of authentic clothing, jewelry, accessories, and art that are made with the highest quality from artisans in Africa. What you get from Unique African Boutique, you can't get from anywhere else. Our entire collection is made up of one-of-a-kind pieces that promote the culture, music, and lifestyle of Africa, with care for the artisans and their families and their livelihood. Shop Unique African Boutique today at shopuniqueafricanboutique.com. That's something that's inevitable. That's always been happening. So for people to look at that as like a big stressor, like, oh my God, the taxes, the Bidens, this or that. Every 4 years or every time there's a president switch, the taxes are going to go up or down every time. Every time. It doesn't matter who it is. So people are worried about that, or worried that Trump might get the office back and this and that, and they're losing sleep and stressing. I actually saw a video on Instagram where these parents were almost in tears, literally in tears, because of who their daughter voted for. And they kicked her out the house. Well, I don't know if it was an act or a show just for the gram, but they literally came to her and said, give us your keys, get out. We can't believe that you voted for this guy. Da, 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 da. And they kicked her out the house. It was crazy. And I'm like, because of somebody that you voted for? Because of somebody I voted for who doesn't have any bearing on what's going to happen in your life tomorrow, what you're going to do, the progress that you're going to make. The president's not going to stop or make or break what's going to happen. So this is what happened after Trump. We found out that Trump lost, and CNN finally said, hey, or was it CNN or whoever it was? They finally said Trump is the loser, Biden is the winner. We get Mr. Prince Wallace, senator out of Mississippi. This is what he says. He wants Mississippi now to secede from the Union and to start their own country. Can you believe that because Trump lost, Mississippi Senator Prince Wallace now wants to take Mississippi secede from the Union and start their own country. This is like Civil War all over again. So it's these people are actually upset that Trump lost. That is causing them to want to break up the country. That is almost like even more of a reason why Trump shouldn't have won, because you're creating division within this country. It's not allowed for democracy. This is supposed to be a democracy. If somebody wins, they win, and we roll with it. As a country, if they lose, they lose. We roll with it. When Trump came into office 4 years ago, it was like the country was in a daze. But he got his time to shine, and he did what he's supposed to do with it, which was nothing. Just waste a bunch of time and waste all of our airwaves every day talking about him. Now that he's lost, you got states saying they want to secede. That's bringing division, which is another reason why I feel as though you shouldn't worry about what's going to happen, because it's all a game, these politics that they're playing, and it's not going to affect you personally. This guy's just talking. I don't think Mississippi's really going to move, but if they do, nobody cares about Mississippi anyways. I hope I don't have anybody from Mississippi listening, but nobody cares about Mississippi anyways. There's nothing there but prisons and whatever farmland or whatever it is. So now we have our first African-American woman president, and she's Caribbean. I think she has she's from Jamaica, and she has Indian and black, obviously, in her. I believe it's a little bit of Asian as well. I heard them saying first Asian, Indian, Caribbean woman president. So she's like a super quadruple first: woman, black, Caribbean, Asian, Indian, all in one. Like she's like the full package that just won. That was a big thing right there for our country. First, we had the first black male president. Now we have the vice president. So there's nothing that we can't do. That speaks to that. I'm happy that Biden has won. Not happy for what like a lot of people would think of. I'm only would say that because I think it's time for Trump and his rhetoric just to be done with. Even though I feel as though he's not going to go quietly. He's going to cause a little bit of uproar. He's going to bring a lot of hoopla and cause a lot of people to bring some more confusion and some things that we're not going to be happy about. So now that we have Biden in office, there's going to be some policy changes coming down. And this is the one thing that I didn't know. And I know Biden was going to be a lot more strict, more strict than Trump on just because he's more of a politician. He's a lifetime politician. I think this is like his second or third time running for president. The first time he ran, I think they said it was like in '88 or something like that. So he's going to play more the political game, whereas Trump was playing it from more of like a business standpoint. You know, the old boys crew, making sure that his guys get the money, making sure policies are happening in his favor, or however moving things, you know, with the tax breaks, you know, helping businesses out, you know. And I'm not going to lie, it's been lovely, man. You know, raising that earned income, the tax credits and all that stuff, raising the amount that you need to make and what you can write off and all those things. Like, it's been lovely. It's been lovely for the last 4 years. I will not lie about that. But as businesses and entrepreneurs, we will adjust. So Biden's going to bring all new policies. And what I will say to anybody, now is the time to start your business. If you have not started your business, or you have not started investing or doing something, because right now they're saying the stock market's on the rise. So get ready. It's gonna fall. I would say maybe first or second quarter. Look, it's going to happen. And why do I say this? Because there's something on the horizon. Think about this. So when the pandemic happened, they were telling everybody, and I did one of these things. You know, your car notes, your house notes, you can defer them with no penalty. Supposedly, you get these deferral things because the government, blah, blah, blah. So I don't have a house note right now, but I did it on one of my cars. So I was paying one off. I got another one. I paid that one off in the time that I called for the deferral. I used that time to pay off one of my cars. So when I went back and I paid it to pay for the one that I had deferred on, they never stopped charging me interest, even though they deferred the payment and did that whole deferral thing and pushed it to the back and extended it. They kept charging my butt interest on that. So, and I don't know if you guys understand how interest works when you're paying down your car. Each time you make a payment, the first part of your payment goes straight to interest. The interest is determined by your interest rate, and it's calculated every day. So if you owe $10,000 and you have a certain interest rate, let's just say it's 12%, whatever percentage, but let's say your calculation comes out to $5 a day on that $10,000. After 30 days go by, 5 times 30 is $150. Let's say you have to pay $300, just to make the math simple. Out of that $300, $150 immediately goes to the finance company. They get that $150. Only $150 is going to go towards your principal. So $150 will go to principal, $150 is going to go to the interest, and your interest rate now is going to be, it's based on your principal amount. So now your principal amount has dropped from $10,000 to $9,850 because you paid $150 on it. So now your interest, instead of being $5, now it's $4.80. The reason why I said that is because for me deferring, I think I deferred it like 2.5, maybe 3 months so that I could pay off my other car. So I used that time to pay the other car off. They kept taking the interest out daily. So ultimately, I wound up losing because the interest that I would have been paying had I paid my car note the way I normally pay it, I would have paid less in interest over that time because I would have been paying interest in principal with the example like I just told you and been lowering my principal over that time. But because I deferred it, my principal stayed at a certain amount. Even though they moved the payments back and I didn't have a payment coming up, they were still charging me that interest. So I wound up having to pay more interest to the company, the finance company, over that period of time that I can't get back now. The reason why I say the economy is about to crash is because how many people have deferred payments on their houses? I don't know if it's the same thing, but that possibly could be the same scenario. I'm pretty sure every company isn't going to give you a pause on the interest, just like my company did it. So once this deferral period, because I know some people deferred it for a year, once you have to make that first payment, it's probably going to be all interest, no principal. So you're going to be in more of a hole, which is going to cause what? People to be behind and maybe another market crash. You heard it here first. Believe in yourself. So why am I saying that? Is because now's the time to start looking for opportunities. Because when a market crashes, that's the time to invest. Right now it's starting to spike. It's starting to go up, which is good. I would say wait. Hold up. Because a change is coming. A change is coming. This is how you begin to, you have to begin to watch with a bird's eye view. A lot of times we get so caught up in what's going on right now and today, which is good. But you have to also be have some foresight and some vision to see that everything happens in ebbs and flows. Everything is cyclical. It always comes back around. It's going to go up. Things are going to go down. When they go up, they're going to go down. So after we come out of this pandemic, all those deferrals and all those things are going to cause some people to be upside down on their payments to where They probably can't get a refinance. They are so far behind on their payments with the interest payments piled up on them, where they're going to be holding so much in interest that they're not even going to be able to pay down on principal. There's going to be a lot of things happening. So just wait for it and make sure that now you're thinking and being strategic. So now's the time to start. If you haven't started, start doing what you need to do to position yourself to be able to reap the benefits when the time comes. Another reason why I feel like that's going to happen is because recently I was looking on Twitter, and I believe it was from either CNBC or one of the news networks. Dr. Michael Osterholm, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's a COVID advisor for Biden. Now, this is what he says. A U.S. lockdown. Yeah, we're getting back to that. All of these level 3s and opening up the bars and all of this stuff. This is the plan after January 20th of what Biden's advisors are telling him to do. So just keep this in the back burner. A lot of businesses opened during COVID because, well, a lot of businesses shut down. A lot of people had to start some home businesses to bring in that extra income. So this is what's happened. This is after I just gave you the point about the housing and the deferral payments and those things. The market's going to come. That's going to come to a bubble soon. Now this advisor says a U.S. lockdown of 4 to 6 weeks. Does that sound familiar? Lockdown. And from what I'm I didn't read the full article. I just glanced at it a bit. I didn't get too in depth in it. But he said could control the pandemic. The pandemic. And this is not the views of Your Vibe Radio, but I think this pandemic is a load of boo-boo, crock, nonsense. Because when I sit back and I think about it and analyze it, you see the recovery rate is at anywhere from 85 to 90%. Yes, there's people dying from it, but people have died from it. Hey, it's Mr. Believe, and I'm here to tell you about Titan Protective Services, where they protect what matters most to you. Titan Protective Services provides innovative security solutions for apartment complexes, rental properties, and condominiums. We believe that as a family-run company, we are here to make sure your property is taken care of and protected from vandalism, theft, and destruction. Contact us today for your security needs. Visit www.titanproserv.com today or call us at 844-39-TITAN. That's 844-39-TITAN. From the regular flu, people have died from the common cold. People are still dying from syphilis and herpes and AIDS and things like that. They still are, even though COVID's around, just so people know that. And when you really understand what COVID is, it's another form or another strain of the flu, meaning that it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So just like the flu, there's going to be, after this, a COVID season where everybody's going to be getting these vaccines and all this stuff because COVID's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So the whole pandemic, to me, I feel like it's propaganda. There's something bigger at stake here, and I think what it is they want to vaccinate everybody and hit this whole Bill Gates agenda. So they're using this as a prime opportunity to get that agenda done. But when you really think about it, it's not going anywhere. Everyone at some point, just like a cold, at some point you're going to catch it. At some point you're going to catch the flu. It's almost inevitable, which is why they're trying to come out with a vaccine, and they're hoping that after a few cases or that herd immunity happens, that's where a group of people create the antibodies and most people start to get antibodies and things like this happen. But it's not going anywhere. So just have that in your mind. You're understanding that right now. Just follow with me. Something that's not going nowhere. It's just like a cold or a flu. It's just a lot more contagious, and the symptoms are what they are. But it's recoverable. It is recoverable. Go check the numbers for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Look at the numbers that they have on the CDC website, and you do the math. And you see how many people, how many cases, how many deaths compared to that, and see what the percentage is, how it comes out. And if that percentage is around 80 to 90%, that means people are beating it, which means that there are people, a lot of people out there who have the antibodies for this, who are surviving and thriving afterwards. There are people who die, just like people who died with AIDS, just like people who died from cancer today. So I don't want to just gloss over that and say that it's not dangerous. It is. Life is dangerous. Things happen. We all are going to die. That is inevitable. Everybody is. It's one thing you can't change. How you're going to die, nobody knows. The question is what you're doing now. That's what you should be focused on. Is what you're doing now something worth remembering? Is what you're doing now something worth building? Is what you're doing now something that you can use to build a legacy for? Is something what you're doing now making your life worth living? Because if it's not COVID, it's going to be something else. Maybe you'll pass in your sleep, or maybe you'll get the next pandemic thing that comes along, because this is not the last one. They had the H1N1. They had the swine. They had the Ebola crisis and all these other things. We don't know how we're going to go. But to sit here and stress about it is not going to change anything for you. What they're planning with this is lock down the country again for another 4 to 6 weeks. That's his advice. So you heard it here. Don't let this time come when they lock things down and you not be prepared and ready. Get your stuff in order now. Get whatever it is that you want to get and get it in order right now. So, let's see. I had a couple of more points that he had on that. Dr. Michael, a coronavirus advisor to the President-elect Joe Biden, said nationwide lockdown would help bring the virus under control in the U.S. Control. I think they're trying to control more than just the virus. But, yeah, think about that. So they're trying to bring the virus under control in the U.S. So a lockdown of 4 to 6 weeks. He said the government could borrow enough money, which means put us into even more debt than we already have created. We just went into a whole bunch of debt to get out stimulus packages and all that. That's why I said prepare yourself from now. The bubble is coming and it's going to burst. Make sure you're ready to take advantage when everything starts to drop so that you can be ready to invest. Because once crisis hits, that's the time to invest. Not the time to be worried. Not the time to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off because you don't know what's going to happen. Now's the time to prepare yourself so that you can take advantage when the opportunity comes. He said the government could borrow enough money to pay for a package that will cover lost income for individuals and governments during a shutdown. Individuals and governments, meaning they're going to shut down everything for 4 weeks. So where's the only place you're really going to be able to make some money or get some things going? Online. So make sure you have an online presence. Make sure you have some type of whatever, class, product, show, anything. Get going now with it. Create it now. Don't wait for another lockdown to come and then you're scrambling. He said we could really watch ourselves cruising into the vaccine availability in the first and second quarter. So think about this. The vaccine should be coming out sometime in the first and second quarter. He said we could be cruising into that, meaning we'd be locked down for 4 to 6 weeks, and then the vaccine would come out, and then we'd open back up. Pay attention to the context clues. We could really watch ourselves cruising into the vaccine availability in the first or second quarter of next year while bringing back the economy long before that, he said. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the I don't ever think I'm the smartest person in the room, but I don't think borrowing is a way to get anywhere. I mean, for certain things in business, you need capital. That's different. But to just now to start create money out of nowhere, like where are they going to get all this money that they're going to borrow to now pay individuals and governments, I mean cities, municipalities, people out of work, this entire country? That's going to take a couple trillion, again, to pay that out and say that's going to help the economy strive? I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but you're going to lock down the entire U.S. for 4 to 6 weeks, borrow money, which means they're going to go to the Federal Reserve and just tell them to print more money, which then is going to do what to the dollar? When you have so much of it in circulation, it lowers the value of it, makes it weaker, and then we're supposed to cruise into a vaccine? You've taken away all of my work. You've made me dependent upon the government to feed me and to basically house me and clothe me, and now you're going to say I have to take this vaccine for me to get back to work. So if I don't, I'm pretty sure they're going to put a drought on whatever stimulus package they had going or will have going and dry people out. You can't go back to work. You've been out of work for 4 to 6 weeks. You're not going to be able to get your stimulus package anymore until you get this vaccine. It's coming, people. It's coming. So if there's anything you get from this show today, it's for you to start to believe in yourself. We started out at the beginning with the golden nugget. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. We went into this election. Well, before I got into the election, I spoke a little bit about how you see yourself first. With all this noise going on from the election and Biden win and Trump people and Mississippi trying to secede, it can bring anxiety. And when you have anxiety, sometimes you don't think straight. You're focusing on all these external things going on around you, and you'll miss the boat. What I'm saying is, focusing on what you can control. What you do with your time every day is what you can control. Let's start to make that time a lot more valuable. Let's start to create something now today that will sustain you tomorrow. Start to invest in yourself now. Believe in yourself now because you deserve it now. And tomorrow, whatever may happen, I hope that this is just talk. But because I haven't really seen this, I don't watch news that much anyways. I haven't really seen this on the news like that. But if they're not really talking about it like that, to me it means it might be coming because nobody wants to go on a 4 to 6 week another lockdown. But you know what they say? If you want to hide something, you put it right in front of somebody's face. So the information is out there. Don't say nobody didn't warn you. You heard it right here first on Believe in Yourself Radio or the Believe in Yourself podcast on yourviberadio.com. Now, the special announcement that we have coming up for the end of the show is this. For everyone who was a part of the Believe in Yourself community, we already know that Unique African Boutique, our show sponsor, one of our show sponsors, is doing 10% off for everyone who uses BIY at checkout. But for those that are a part of the Believe in Yourself community, there's an even deeper discount you can take advantage of. But You must join the community to find out how you can take advantage of this discount. How do I join? Let me tell you. Don't beat me up. You just have to text BIY to 31996. That's BIY to 31996. And you will be able to find out about this deeper discount that is coming from Unique African Boutique. And they have great reviews on Facebook. So if you definitely are into the African culture, you might as well go ahead, shop uniqueafricanboutique.com today and find out more about what they have. And definitely text BIY to 31996 so that you can be a part of the Believe in Yourself community and family. And this is the first of many more discounts to roll out. Remember, Black Friday's coming. This is holiday season. There are sales all over all over. Everybody's doing sales now. So if you guys want to be a part of and get into what's going on, especially with the Believe in Yourself community, go back and listen to our past shows. All of our guests, most of our guests will be having a special discounted offer, a part of the Believe in Yourself community. So we'll be rolling some of them out on a weekly basis. The first one to join in on it is Unique African Boutique. They are a show sponsor. If you want to find out what that deep discounted price is going to be, or deep discounted rate, whatever the offer is, whatever it is, you want to find out, text BIY to 31996. That's BIY to 31996. And you'll be able to partake and enjoy in those great little discounts. And it's definitely exclusive just for you guys. This is bringing us to the end of the show. I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. Remember, you can listen to the Believe in Yourself podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker. We have Google Podcasts, Anchor. Apple has been giving us some troubles with Apple, but definitely Spotify, Google, Audible. You know, most places where you can consume podcasts, you want to listen to the Believe in Yourself podcast. We release our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Every Wednesday, we're right here on Your Vibe Radio. You can go to the link in my bio where you can find other links to our episodes. On Wednesdays at 8 p.m., we have a special link up. So definitely Wednesdays, Fridays, and also Sundays at 2 p.m. as well. So definitely you want to tune in to the Believe in Yourself podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Believe in Yourself and on Instagram at BIY Podcast for more information and to keep up with everything that we got going on, man. So without further ado, I just want to say thank you to everyone listening in. Thank you for tuning in to
YourVibeRadio.com.
And I will catch you guys on the next one. This show was brought to you by Believe in Yourself. Don't forget to visit IBelieveInMeInc.com. That's IBelieveInMeInc.com for all your BIY swag. That's I Believe in Me Inc. for all your BIY swag. And we'll see you on the next episode.